some days, and in fact, most days, if I'm being really honest, I feel like a complete fraud because I'm showing up and I don't really feel that confident. Confidence has been a lifelong struggle and it likely will be, and that's okay. That's just a part of who I am. But that feeling of not being confident, I can't be the only one. If you feel like you can't show up because you don't feel confident, I'm going to break that down for you why that's just simply not true.
Welcome to the Making Sense of Social Media Marketing Mindset podcast with Lorri Klassen.
So let's start at the beginning. Confidence is not a requirement, but it's a result. Let me put that into perspective a little bit with a personal story. So, way back in the day when I had jobs before I had my own business, I used to say that I could go in and get any job that I wanted based on an interview. People just had to meet me and hear what I had to say, and I would likely get the job, whether I had experience or training or education or knew anybody in that industry or not. I had that level of confidence in an interview, or at least I acted that confident. And probably, I don't know, 80, 85, 90% of the time, I actually got the job. And that it was an act because I would come home and be like, I don't know how I just did that. So again, at that point in time, confidence was a choice and it remains a choice to this day. If you are waiting to be perfect in one way or another or have everything in its place, all your ducks in a row before you launch your blog or your podcast or your Etsy store or your digital product or whatever it is for you, stop waiting for things to be perfect before you put it out there because it will it will never happen. It's in the action taking, it's in the forward movement where confidence grows. You don't have to feel confident, but you have to be willing. You have to be willing to try and take that action. So, what is the difference between confidence and courage? Well, of the two, I would say that courage is the more important thing. You know, God never said we needed to be fearless. He did say that He would be with us when we face the fears or while we are facing the fears. Is courage messy? Yeah, it absolutely is. But can it produce results and change your life? 100%. So when it comes to whatever you're out there using social media to market, whether it be a digital product or the latest book that you wrote or your course, or maybe you're an artist or a musician or you're a coach, if you're waiting for something to be just right before you put yourself out there, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but you're fooling yourself. It's the courage that we're looking for, not the confidence. So, here are a few action steps I can recommend to you that will help you in your journey of moving forward in whatever it is that you're building. So, when it comes to making videos, record a 10-second video just for yourself. You don't have to post it and you don't have to share it with anybody if you don't want to. You could maybe share it with a friend or someone whose opinion you really value, but it's not necessary. You can do this just for yourself and continue to do that until you feel like you're making ground, like that courage muscle is starting to build. So just hit record. Doesn't mean you have to share. Here's another action step you could take. Post a story on your Instagram or your Facebook, but you don't have to necessarily show your face. You can do a voiceover. That's easily done and edited inside of the Instagram app. And if you're like most of us, you probably share from Instagram to Facebook, making things a lot easier. So when you're editing your story inside of Instagram, simply do a voiceover and see how that feels. A third action step I'd like to recommend for you is to write out a script or a caption as if you were simply texting with a friend. The reality of social media is that you are building relationships. And if you're constantly feeling like you have to sell, that's not going to build the connection that you need to build in order to help your business get off the ground or grow or even scale at some point. That's where the courage comes in, that messy courage. And you know what? If you let it, it can be really, really fun. The point is to practice visibility, not perfection. As you practice, it just becomes a lot easier. Remember, no one remembers your bad hair day or your purple walls or whatever it is for you. They remember how you made them feel. Make them feel seen and heard and valued. But let me share with you a bit of a story from one of my students from 2023, I believe. She was with me. Her name is Lily, and she had an idea for a course and other digital products around being a writer, being a fictional writer. And she just really didn't know how to show up on social media. Not that she wasn't skilled, but she was just feeling really nervous. She was feeling a lot of the imposter syndrome that a lot of us do. She was not feeling confident. And I worked with her for a number of weeks on how to break through on that and how to just do the thing, do the work, the confidence will come. And it certainly did. There is someone out there right now who needs what you have to say. They're looking for your level of vulnerability and authenticity, not your highlight reel. So here's some tough love for you. If you're waiting until everything's perfect and you feel confident, I'm sorry, my friend, but you're going to be waiting a long, long time, maybe forever. But if you move with what you have, if you move now, take action now with what you have, God's going to meet you there. You are not an imposter. You're in progress. We're all simply a work in progress. As I conclude today's episode, why don't you comment below with one brave thing you did this week? What was one action that you took that led to that, oh my goodness, I can do this feeling? Go ahead and grab that video confidence checklist that I've made for you. It's filled with great tips and advice. I promise you're going to love it. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch and or listen to this podcast episode. I have some great interviews coming up that I'm really excited to share with you. So they're not all going to be just me. I have some great women that I'm going to be sharing with you. Stay tuned for those. Until next time, keep showing up, even if your voice shakes. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present.